Hello and welcome to Sobirovs live Wednesday live show from Toronto. My name is 𝗕𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. I'm the managing lawyer of Sobirovs Law Firm. We are a boutique business immigration law firm that focuses only on business immigration, investor immigration, and tech immigration. We can bring your business and your family and of course your tech talent to this beautiful country called Canada. Today we will be discussing about what we commonly refer to as business visa. So let me introduce you to the topic today. The topic is how to get business visa in Canada in 2022. We are at the end of the year, however, we want to wrap it up, and I hope the laws will not change dramatically anytime soon, and we will be having the same laws because the world is changing very dramatically. And yesterday I will touch upon a very great news, a piece of information that became public. Canada will be accepting in the next 3 years almost 500,000 immigrants, permanent residents each year, 2023, 24, and 25. I will touch upon that topic in this live session too, because it's such a big issue. It's a good and it has its own challenges and so on. As usual, I present the topic, and once I do that, I will get to your questions. I already see several questions on the YouTube side. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Whenever you put a comment under the video that you're watching from, whichever platform you're watching from, I will be able to bring the question in this kind of setting. For example, if you send me a question, I will bring it this way, and I will try to tackle it together. Whatever you hear in these live sessions is just general information. I cannot provide legal advice, so you should consider this information as general. And if you need more specific legal advice, please consider booking an appointment with us through our website sobirovs.com. Okay, today we are talking about getting business visa, and we published a guidelines on our website. Let me bring that up, and this link will be copied underneath the videos as a comment, so you can refer to it at your available time. So, how to get a business visa in Canada in 2022 and forward. I would add that going forward because we are at the end of the year. So there are many different programs, and Canada has remained as a destination for many entrepreneurs. When I say generically business visa, I don't mean the tourist visa, okay? Yes, some people refer to business visa as just a type of tourist visa. What I'm referring here is those who are that lead to work permit and ultimately to permanent residence. So Canada offers several business visa programs that were created to attract different type of entrepreneurs or investors. So each program is designed to do certain thing, right? It's not one size fits all type of situation. So there are, if we can divide into groups, there are federal business visa programs. There are provincial business visa programs. They have different mission. Each program has a different mission and objective. So we will touch upon them very briefly, and with the help of your questions, I can delve into each program separately. So, excuse me. Each program is tailored to attract specific type of foreign investment and respond to the particular needs of business immigrants, and also the location where this program will be relevant, right? For example, each province has its own program. That locality is also an important factor. So when I said please don't confuse it with tourist visa. Tourist visa is totally different thing. So there is no one fit for all program. Instead, there are different types that will probably get to you the permanent residence for you and for your family. So whenever you whichever pathway, whichever specific program you go through, Once you are approved for that, you can operate your business on a work permit, right? Your work permit will be restricted to running the business. It will be written on your work permit that you can work for XYZ company, which is your company. Either you purchased it or established it. And while your family will have an open work permit, your spouse can get an open work permit. And if your kids go to school, they can go to school for free using study permits. Then, depending on your business visa program chosen, and we will go into different kinds very soon, depending on that, you and your family may become eligible for permanent residency in about 1 or 2 years. It's a process. So there is no direct access to permanent residence through business immigration programs. Okay, so I want you to keep in mind, because many people, entrepreneurs from foreign countries who are looking for ways to immigrate to Canada, they can be confused. Because some countries around the world, they offer permanent residency with an investment, right? The keywords investment, permanent residency go together in many other countries around the world, but in Canada at the moment, as we speak in November 2022, there is no direct access to permanent residency through business immigration programs, okay? Now, I would like to highlight on a very high level the federal programs. There are 3 major ones. Some may argue there are 4, but I would go with 3 because I will explain why. And there are numerous provincial business visa programs which we categorize under PNPs here. And every link takes you to the right spot where you can read more about it. The famous federal business visa programs are startup in ICT and C11. There is also owner operator type, which we don't concentrate at the moment because it has become challenging program on many levels. Of course, it could be a good program, but for the purposes of this video, I will focus only on 3 federal programs. Intra-company transfer. Intra-company transfer is a visa program that is tailored towards businesses with existing operations in a foreign country that want to expand to Canada. Like the word suggests, intra-company, there should be minimum 2 companies, right? Your original company in a foreign country and your Canadian company. Then intra, between the companies, you may transfer certain types of individuals, including yourself and their family members. So it is a transfer from your original company to your Canadian operations, and you are expanding your business to Canada while transferring yourself or an employee or your employee or yourself. And technically speaking, Canadian company will be your employee in Canada, right? There are certain specifics that I suggest that you go to this link and read the details of ICT program, because it has its own pluses, minuses, good sides, maybe bad sides. So please go through that. There are FAQs about ICT. I cannot go into detail today, but I want to highlight that one program is intra-company transfer. Second program that is very becoming popular, and this relates also, all 3 programs, they relate to Canada's new plan for permanent residency. Just bear with me, I will get to those very quickly. Now, the second very popular program that we do is Startup Visa Program. This is a program ideally fitted for those who have a startup idea, or they have conceptualized their startup, they have tested maybe, and they want to bring that startup to Canada. Okay, there are different stages of startup. Maybe it's ideation, maybe it's prototyping, maybe it's testing. Do you have an MVP, and so on. So any type of startups. This is those who are in the startup world would understand me, that the immigration programs would need requires you to obtain a letter of support from certain Canadian organizations. And the details are here when you go to this link. Everything is for your convenience, what are the best ways, how things work, and so on. But on a very high level, letter of support from Canadian side, and then this will ultimately lead to permanent residency for up to 5 founders of that startup. Okay, we help startups of any stages. So you need of course certain budget to hire professionals, because your startup is from outside of Canada, and to be successful in Canada and get the attention and support from designated organizations, I think you need to do a lot of market research to see the fitness of your product or service to Canadian market. So startup is a different type of journey, requires a lot of preparation, clear business plans, and so on. But it is a good program because it can bring 5 founders to Canada. That is potentially 5 families. And I spoke a lot about why startup was a great program for Canada. And we had recently in October, we dedicated the whole month for the startup visa program. Please go and watch our previous videos from a venture capital firm, from a startup incubator, from other service providers that can help you with startup visa program. Not the immigration part, but the economic, like the marketing part, research part, prototyping part. So it is an interesting program, and it requires a very thorough investigation on your side if you are an innovative company with a startup idea. Now, the third final federal business immigration business visa program is entrepreneur visa under what we call C11, significant benefit program, right? If you want to purchase or invest in an existing Canadian business, this could be for you. C11 could be for you. You may start from scratch by purchasing a business, or you may invest in partnership with a local partner to a Canadian business. This program also is suitable for foreigners who want to start brand new business, but brand new business requires a lot of preparatory work, okay? As with other programs, you and your family could become eligible for permanent residency later. So go to C11. We do C11 every day, and this is a very detailed guide for you to explore C11 in depth, okay? How much money, what can be done, what cannot be done, purchasing a franchise or no, many questions that we addressed in these guides. Okay, last but not the least category of business visas, and then I will get to your questions. Provincial nominee programs. There are many of those, and we identified 17 business immigration streams. And if you click here, you can go and see our guidelines about PNP programs. All you need to know in 2022 and forward. This is work permit first and then permanent residency second kind of argument, logic here. And you can go and see all the costs related, and then go to individual provinces in the guidelines. So see, this is business, and this is business. But this one requires you to study in Canada. This from outside of Canada, these 2 programs in Alberta. So go individually and find it for yourself. It's amazing source of information. And we did some PNP videos. We went to Alberta, we interviewed Alberta communities, we went to different parts of Canada, we went to Nova Scotia. You can see a lot of videos related to PNPs on in our YouTube channel. Now, there are, of course, individual requirements. Let's talk about requirements very quickly. There are individual requirements for each program. This list doesn't try to substitute them, okay? But it gives you more generic, all applicable requirements. What do you need to do? Let me double check before. Okay, I see a lot of good Good questions. Thank you very much. And I will get to those questions. I'm almost done with this presentation, and then we will do it. We will tackle your questions together. Okay. So each business visa program has its own requirements. However, there are 5 common elements in all requirements. So this will give you a brief outline. You should have substantial amount of money. Minimums are, I would say, 100, 150,000, all the way to 350,000. And it depends whether it's a federal program, provincial program. Provincial programs have minimums, but federal programs don't have minimums. So you should be ready to have this budget. Also, you should have experience and skills and be able to operate the business successfully. Why this is a requirement? It's not like some of them, they clearly ask for that experience, but some programs, they vaguely ask in a way that indirectly ask for this requirement. What I mean by indirectly is, in order to have a genuine chance of success in any business, as you may know, you need the skills for that business. If you haven't done that, the probability of success will be low. So that's why we highlighted this generic common requirement to have the skills and capacity and to operate business successfully in Canada. You don't operate business to fail, right? You don't operate the business just to come to Canada. You want to operate the business and create the business to be successful. And as your lawyers, we want you to be successful. We don't want you to come and fail in Canada, right? So that's generic, common, high-level requirement. You must have an existing successful business or be willing to start or invest in one in Canada. This is also a generic. This part applies to intra-company transfer, and this part applies to other types, whether you start a new business or invest in one existing in Canada. You must have a well thought out, effective and realistic business plan. Business plan that has been thoroughly researched, that reflects Canadian realities. This will be not only relevant to you as a business owner, but to the Canadian Embassy who is reviewing your intentions of running a business in Canada. Do you have a clear plan, realistic plan to do business in Canada? And also, we put this requirement because either you have to have that extensive knowledge or you have to hire someone who has that extensive knowledge in Canadian immigration regulations and immigration framework. Because one thing is to run the business, the other thing is to worry about your immigration, right? You need to have that knowledge, or you need to hire someone who has the knowledge so that you can focus on your business, not on your immigration status. Overall, the procedure, excuse me. Overall, the procedure, how it's gonna work, again, generic, very high level, because each program has its own specifics as to the process. This is what usually happens in a business visa application, depending on the program you select. Is first you need to consult with a business immigration lawyer. Find the right one for you, and I've already published how to find your best immigration lawyer in Canada. I have a guidelines for that. If I can find it here, 1 second. I think I have that in the. Let me find this very quickly. Under Insights, you can search best immigration lawyer. And then this is a complete guide. See, this is a complete guide that I published in August of this year. How to choose, what to pay attention. It's a long read. I should warn you. It's a long read. How to find the best lawyer. It's very long, but it's very critical at the beginning. So before you consult with an experienced business immigration lawyer, you need to find that lawyer. Okay. And select the most suitable, who can select you the most suitable pathway for you and your business. Then once you do that, okay, you have the immigration strategy. Steps are the following: either you create or purchase a Canadian company, develop a business plan for that company, at any stage before work permit submission. So it could be in advance or after you purchase the company, because sometimes you need to tailor it to that company that you purchased or established. Become employed by a Canadian company. So there's a process. The Canadian entity hires you. Submit an application for work permit with appropriate application for your family members and all the documentation. Then you come to Canada and operate your business successfully without failing, hopefully, and apply for permanent residency within 1 or 2 years. Depending on your business immigration programs, certain avenues are available to become permanent residents. Then after living for 3 years as a permanent resident, you become eligible for Canadian citizenship. That's a 30,000 feet process. As I said, it's not detailed, but everything is depends on the immigration program chosen and the strategy suggested by immigration lawyer. Visa processing time. This is a very hot topic, and it's a bit discouraging topic, to be honest, because now things are so late and my clients are also suffering. I know many of my colleagues in the immigration legal practice, they are also voicing the concerns about the processing time, but this is a general overview of processing times. It can take up to 1 to 8 months depending on your citizenship, where you're applying from, and many other factors, but this is a realistic expectation, to be honest. Some of my clients are already waiting even more than 8 months. Unfortunately, certain countries in certain regions of the world, they have the embassies, not Canadian embassies, are very slow. Unfortunately, this is something beyond our control. So 1 to 8 months for the business visa application to be approved. The processing time largely depends on the immigration program. Some federal programs can take 3 months on average. Provincial programs usually take 8 months for the whole thing to realize. And please note that this processing time refers to processing the work permit that will allow you to work for your Canadian company. Okay, this is a serious step and requires an advanced preparation. Costs. The costs indicated here are only governmental costs. Depending on your visa, the program chosen for you, the legal costs can be different. So to calculate the costs, go to our fee calculator, which we created for your convenience. You answer a couple of questions and it will estimate how much it may cost you in legal fees and all the governmental fees combined. So go there and see for yourself. There are frequently asked questions. I don't want to go into those. Please read it for yourself, and each program has its own FAQs. See, here there are FAQs. See, tons of FAQs that we created based on your questions. Startup visa FAQ, C11 FAQ, and so on. Now, I think this is a generic overview of what's available for foreign entrepreneurs. Go and see this page. I will leave this page right away before I forget. Here we go. And now let's explore your questions so that we can delve into this topic in more detail. I can see lots of questions here. Now let me bring it up. All right, so now question time. Thank you very much for your patience. I know I was speaking non-stop, but this is an overview I wanted to give you. Now, I have a question from YouTube side, which I cannot bring to the screen, but I will start with that question. Let me see that question on the YouTube side, because some questions cannot be dragged onto the screen, right? So there is a question from Pakistan. Hello to Pakistan, and I hope the devastation of the flooding are going away. I hope our prayers and thoughts are with the people of Pakistan. I follow the world news, but I don't highlight them. But using this opportunity, my condolences for those who lost their loved ones in recent flooding in Pakistan, and I hope things will really improve and it will never happen again. It's devastating news. I really feel I have many friends in Pakistan and many clients, but this relates to us. And as as something that we could do at Sobirovs Law Firm, every month we donate to certain charities, around the world, especially those countries that our clients come from. And I'm humbled for the opportunity to be able to. We donated some funds for the flooding rescue operations in Pakistan, and I hope that those donations will reach the right people in that beautiful country. Our thoughts and prayers with the people of Pakistan. Thank you for participating. 𝗕𝗂𝗀𝗥 from Pakistan, she says, I mailed you for business exploratory visit. Please explain what requirements are for exploratory visit visa. Also, I wanted to buy a business or open a branch of my existing company, which is owner-operator company. What would be the requirements for that? 𝗕𝗂𝗀𝗥, thank you for your question. So first of all, business exploratory visits, I think you are referring to provincial nominee programs, because most of provincial nominee programs, they require that potential foreign entrepreneur first visits Canada, that province specifically, explores the area, and then applies for PNP. So if you're referring to that, then first you need to identify whether that exploratory visit these days can be done online. I remember when I was interviewing Alberta communities that are participating in rural entrepreneur program, they are still accepting, they're doing virtual exploratory visits. Explore that. Second, to come to Canada, I think for exploration only, you need to apply for tourist visa. So tourist visas are being processed very long, depending on the embassy that you apply to. At the moment, you can apply for tourist visa and come and visit, and as a purpose of your visit, you should indicate that you want to explore this province or that province, and you're conducting exploratory visit to Canada. Unfortunately, those communities that participate in PNP programs, they don't give you a letter of support or something for you to apply for visa. You should indicate that you are so-and-so business owner or entrepreneur, and you are interested in this business, doing business in that province, and you want to do exploratory visits. So you need to justify your visit, that you have a home ties that will bring you back from the visit to your home country. You have financial capacity to realize that exploration to Canada. And finally, you have not breached any immigration laws before. So that way you can apply for exploratory visit, and it will be a typical tourist visa, which is legally known as temporary resident visas. Regarding your other question, if I want to buy or open a branch, I think I would refer you to our website. That was the business visa we talked about. Intra-company transfer is applicable for when you want to, this one. So when you want to expand your existing business, look into intra-company transfer. There's the detailed guidelines. If you want to purchase a business, then you need to either look to Entrepreneur Visa C11 or PNPs as you raise the question of exploratory visits. Okay. Now another question that we have from the audience. I think now I can pull all the questions here. Rahim Moti, I'm from India looking for investors immigration program. Okay, that's a very general question. Rahim, I will refer you again to our website where you can find this guidelines under business immigration. Go to Sobirovs Law Firm website, sobirovs.com. Go to under business immigration and click on Canada Investor Visa. This is where you have an overview of investment related programs. Okay, that's all I can say now. Okay, next question. All right, tons of questions from YouTube side. I will go one by one. I ask for your patience. Which route is faster? Ali is asking the question. Which route is faster, C11 or provincial nominee? I think C11. In a short answer, it's C11 is faster. And you can go and read the guidelines. We have guidelines for Provincial nominee program. We have guidelines for C11 program that I highlighted at the beginning of our video. And you should refer to them and understand why this is so, okay? 𝗕𝗂𝗨𝗥 𝗤𝗨𝗃 is asking the smallest budget for making a business visa to Canada. I did highlight that issue at the minimum 150,000 all the way to 350,000 for just your business related expenses, to do business or to create a business, to purchase a business, and so on. So that's the smallest budget you can think of. Ali Rashid clarifying the question: can I invest in shares of a business or must I purchase a business? I think you can invest. Also, there is an opportunity to be a partner of an existing business in Canada, and then most probably you will be fit for C11 work permit. But in order for you to justify your coming to Canada, you need to be the majority shareholder of the company. So basically, you become the owner of the company. Yes, some parts could belong to another person, your partner, but you will be the majority person. That helps you to justify you coming to Canada, because theoretically you can buy the shares of an existing company now and not come to Canada. You know, trust your partners that they will run the business successfully, and you can literally own shares, not a problem. But to justify that you need to be in Canada to run the business because you are invested in a majority ownership of the business, then that helps you a lot. Minority owners probably will have harder time to justify why they're coming to Canada, unless you have a very specific justification, which I cannot think of at the moment. Some businesses may have that kind of justification. Adam Royal, excuse me. Adam Royal is saying, I'm from Nigeria. What's the requirement document requested? Unfortunately, that's very generic. Adam, I invite you to go and see our guidelines on the website, and then you will have a clear idea on what documentation are needed for certain type of business immigration. Of course, even on our website, we cannot go specific country by country document list, right? That's something that is done after you hire the lawyer. He or she, the lawyer, will analyze your situation and come up with there's a generic list. It's online. The government website is there. But the specific set of documents for that business owner, that entrepreneur, should be created by the lawyer, and then you collect those documents to support your application. So unfortunately, I cannot answer that generic question. Sadiq Akbar is asking, what's the overall cost of a startup visa program? Can you provide cost break? Well, yesterday I talked to an entity who helps with market research and prototyping and preparing you for startup visa program application. They charge their own fees. They have a list of services they can provide to help you with your startup visa. If you are asking just for legal cost, lawyer's cost, it ranges between $35,000 to $50,000 for lawyer's cost for that visa program. But again, the costs are, Sadiq, I highlighted in my presentation. Go to our fee calculator. There you can ask, you are asked some questions for the startup visa. You select, and then it will come up with an estimated budget for legal costs. Okay, again, startup visa program requires a lot of preparation. So what I mean is market research. Who will be doing your market research? Who will be contacting local potential buyers of your service? Who will be doing the prototyping if there is a device to be prototyped? So who will be creating your website? These are the non-legal costs of startup visa application. So we have trusted partners who do market research, who prepare you who will help you to be interviewed with designated organizations, who will prepare you for that interview and everything before, because for startup visa you need to obtain letter of support from those designated organizations, right? Either it's incubators, angel investors, or VC funds. So they have that non-legal service list where they can help you with your startup visa application preparation. The legal side, the immigration side, it's you can estimate the cost on our website, but the non-legal side I cannot estimate, because we need to understand what kind of service you need to prepare your startup for immigration, okay? To obtain the letter of support from designated organizations. So I think I suggest that you contact us, book a strategy meeting with us, 1 hour on our website. And we came up with a new policy starting from last week. When you book a strategy meeting with us and you have your strategy meeting, and if you're not satisfied with strategy meeting, we will reimburse the meeting fee for you. We don't want to be in the business of consulting and not giving value, right? So we will sit with you 1 hour of strategy time with our senior business immigration lawyer. And if you're not happy with the meeting, at the end you didn't get any value, just tell us. No questions asked. We will give it back to you. But if after the consultation you become our client and we, the law firm, and you agree to work together, we will apply that meeting fee of $250 to our legal fees. We will deduct it from our legal fees. So there's no fear. We removed that fear from immigrant entrepreneurs when they say, "Oh, if I pay for a meeting with a lawyer, what is it a waste of money?" and so on. Some people are concerned. So just to address that fear, we removed that fear in our offer. Okay. Another question is 𝗕𝗂𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. Good afternoon. Hello. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good morning to me. Please, can someone buy a business of $100,000 in which the owner in Canada accepted to collect a down payment of $50,000 and the buyer pays the balance monthly till the balance is fully paid? Well, as long as it's a firm commitment, I think it's possible. But again, your situation should be analyzed. What are you buying? What kind of do you have further capital to invest and broaden this business, improve this business? So your coming to Canada should be geared towards improving the business, okay? Not keeping the status quo, but improving. What happens after you buy the business? So 50% down payment, 50% the balance to be paid at a later stage, firm commitment, no matter what. If you haven't made a firm commitment, I think that's an argument to make to Immigration Canada, to the embassy, that this person is not playing around. He's firm to purchase that business, but there are steps in purchasing, 50% now, 50% later. It could be, again, it is very situational, and you need to sit with a lawyer to understand the specifics. Okay. Oma Adidas GLNL. Hello. If I purchase a franchise business for 100,000 Canadian, I hope you mean 100,000. For example, do I still need to put money in the business? After purchasing the business, do I still present proof of fund to CIC? Yes, I just answered that question. Besides purchase price, purchase money, you need to have funds too. It's not that don't spend all your money to purchase a business, okay? You need to be able to run the business, to stock up the inventory of the business, to make certain repairs if something breaks down. This kind of things cost money, so you need to allocate certain budget. That's why if you purchase a business for $100,000, I would also advise you to, as my suggestion, to have another 100,000 for the rainy day, because I don't want to be in a situation when my clients has spent all their properties to buy one business, and that any business is risky in this world, as you know. So be prepared, have the budget for rainy day, and show that budget. and you should show that budget, because then it will be, it will not be a strong application. I would say it will be an application, it may not be a strong application. Okay. All right. Ali Rashid is asking, do you assist with business plan, or one would have to engage services? We do help with business plan, and we have our external experts, PhDs and locals here in Canada who understand the Canadian market, that prepare business plan for our clients. Yes, we do help with that. Okay, excuse me, I have some throat issue today. That's why I have to drink liquids now and then. So, Adam Royal, when buying a business, going to pay in full payment before coming to Canada? Yes. Because the owners of businesses in Canada, they don't want a conditional sale. It's very, very, very rare that they allow you, okay, pay me now a little bit, pay later a little bit. You make full payment before coming to Canada. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the website that I gave you about Business Visa Canada, it's very simple, sobirovs.com/business-visa-canada, and I will leave this with you underneath the video. 𝗕𝗂𝗨𝗥 is asking, can one business, I think there was a little bit modification of your question. If you buy a business of 100K in which the owner accepted 50K, 50% of 100K, and the balance in monthly installments, will this kind of business get you a PR? As I said, the purchase of business gets you work permit. Then you run the business, be successful in that business, don't get bankrupt, and then you are ready for PR. Okay, just buying the business doesn't get you the PR. Buying a business allows you to come on a work permit to run the business first, run it successfully for 1 or 2 years, then you open an opportunity to become permanent residents. For example, provincial nominee programs, federal business immigration programs, they require performance. Provincial nominee programs usually require a minimum of 12 months or 2 years, depending on the province. So just the fact of buying a business doesn't get you the PR. I want to make clear, because again, many countries around the world, they give you that opportunity. Just invest something, get the PR. No, not in Canada. In Canada, if you buy a business, become a business owner, you come to Canada to run that business on a work permit. And then after some time, you may become eligible for PR. Okay, I want to make it clear, because there must be some kind of confusion in the audience and globally, as if you buy a business, you become PR. No. If you buy a business, you become eligible to work on your business on a work permit, and then become PR in due course if you get eligible to a certain, if depending on the business program, there's a eligibility requirement for PR, right? All right. US Shahnala from Pakistan, thank you very much for your question. I hope I tried to cover everything, different angles of your question. Thank you very much again. Here we go, another question. Oma Adidas. If one if one buys a franchise business for 200,000, I guess, right? 150,000, 200,000. How much will likely be the salary per hour? Well, there are minimum salaries based on province. In Canada, I believe it's $15 per hour. But for you to become I think you don't go with minimum salaries. If you mean the salary for yourself, that should be, I think, higher than minimum salaries. If you mean the salary for your workers, at the moment there's a worker shortage, and it will be tough to find a worker for minimum salary in Canada. So it depends on the province, depends on whose salary you're talking about. And if you Well, I'm trying to understand why you're asking this question, because especially the per hour salary question, because I couldn't relate, to be honest. I couldn't relate the buying the business and the hourly salary. Can you please clarify if I think I got it wrong? Okay, Ahmad Sadiq, very insightful. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much. I was wondering if you could briefly outline the most applied areas for startups, if you have this info. If not, may I know if it's not e-business focused only, can it be manufacture of goods like bijouterie? Yeah, well, Startup Visa is about innovation. Innovation can happen in any field of production or business. If your bijouterie production is innovative, why not? And I should propose you watch my latest interview with a venture capital fund CEO, where he mentions innovation is not something that you create innovation is not something like you must create this next Facebook. No, innovation can be something that changes status quo. For example, he mentioned an innovation in restaurants. At the moment, there are restaurants in Canada that have no cashiers. You come and interact with a robot. Robot gets your order. In the back kitchen, nobody sees you. There's an app, you order your food, and you come and you pay through the app. And that restaurant type, this is an innovative restaurant. You only hire the cooks at the back kitchen, and they prepare the food based on the order through the app. You pay through the app, you pick up your food, that's it. That's a restaurant at the moment. That's innovative. So it doesn't have to be IT related. It should be something that changes the status quo, how we are doing business now, what will change because of your innovation, how the business will be done after your innovation. So you need to, Startup Visa is not only about big, super, mega ideas, okay? It could be something that changes the status quo. So I suggest that you go and watch that CEO interview that I did. That CEO's name is 𝗕𝗂𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. He is one of the designated venture capital funds under the Startup Visa program. And the most applied startups for this program are, of course, related to information technologies, new type of manufacturing, different type of services, and so on. Yesterday, I talked to a startup research company, Startup Research. They do research for startups, okay? They did an innovative a bracelet for those who have pacers on their hearts, right? You know, pacers, they give you the rhythm of your heart. It's a specific mechanism. So when those who have pacers in their heart installed, when they come to a magnetic field, for example, at the checkup at the airport, that pacer can be damaged, you know, it can be life-threatening. So they came up with a bracelet. A bracelet will identify the magnetic field when you approach the airport or when you approach certain areas. It identifies magnetic field. Even certain phones have different magnetic field, and it's dangerous for those who have pacers on their hearts, right? So that bracelet, little bracelet that beeps when there is a magnetic field, unhealthy magnetic field, right? So that was an innovation. So you can see it's changing things and changing status quo, challenging the status quo. I think startups can be of different kind, basically. And the second question from the same person, Ahmad, does any of these programs allow an applicant to operate a business not residing in Canada on a permanent basis? Well, of course, if you want to be operating your business from remotely from your home country, you can do that. And any of these programs that other than provincial nominee program, other programs, they don't require you to live in Canada. You can come and go, you know, you just monitor your business. But provincial nominee programs, they want you to spend at least, I think it's 75% of your time in that locality, in that province that you are doing the business with. Okay. 𝗕𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is asking, what is the criteria for applying for PR after running business for 1 year? The criteria could be, there might be an opportunity for you if you are going with provincial nominee program. After operating it for a certain amount of time, maybe it's 1 year, maybe it's 2 years, depends on the PNP program, then the province nominates you to permanent residence. Okay, there is a nomination program, a nomination process that makes you permanent resident. Then the federal business immigration programs, after 1 year, your company may give you a job offer on a very high level, executive level, and which may increase your express entry points, and then you may become eligible for PR. So there are different ways, depends on which program you select at the beginning, whether it has a performance requirement, and then once you do that performance, will you be eligible. So depends on which program. Yes, there is an opportunity to, after at least 1 year, your company has profits, your company can pay your salary, and then we moved our clients from work permit to permanent residency. I will highlight a success story here. Here we go. In success stories, we have very rich success story in our, see this one, Canadian PR in less than 3 years, right? In less than 3 years. Read this. This is a typical scenario. Maybe it will relate to you. How we switched from a work permit to PR. Okay, that's a good success story. Success stories can be found under Insights, Success Stories, and there are many success stories that we share, that we are allowed to share by our clients. Okay. All right, I'm almost at the end of the hour. Let me quickly go to the questions again. Thank you, Hardik, for this question. Okay. Rahim, you are welcome. You are welcome. And now I will try to also highlight that new announcement that was made by the Canadian immigration about immigration plans. Do you arrange for an exploratory visit if we apply for C11 visa? C11 visa doesn't require exploratory visit. PNP programs require exploratory visits. If you are asking for a tourist visa before buying the business, you can do it on your own, because we don't want to be in a position where we sponsor someone to come to Canada, right? Write an invitation letter or something. C11 visa doesn't require exploratory visit. You can hire someone who will do all the due diligence when you're buying a business for C11 program. So I think either you are confusing this exploratory visit with that is not required on the C11. Exploratory visits are required by PNP programs. So if you are interested in PNP, we can arrange the meeting with certain locations, and once you hire us as your lawyer, we can arrange those meetings for you. Yeah. How long the visa is valid? Usually, if you which visa again? Which visa? If you mean a tourist visa, just to visit Canada, the tourist visas are usually given for 10 years or until the expiry of your passport. And tourist visas are multiple year visas, multiple use visas. So if you are asking about the work permit that you can obtain based on the purchase of the business or establishing a business in Canada, usually they start with 1 year or 2 years, the work permits, and then it can be extended up to 7 years. Okay. Sheila Sam Joseph is asking, which program is better, C11 startup visa for a small and medium business? Well, startup visa requires you to be an innovative business, and if you have a startup visa that is supported by Canadian designated organizations, then startup visa could be better, but C11 is faster. So depends what good means to you. Is it the fast pace, or is it more solid PR. Startup visa also gives you PR at the end, right? C11 gives you the first work permit, and then you have to get ready for permanent residency separately. So depends what means good for you. What is your priority? As for small and medium businesses, we usually end up doing C11s if you ask for our practice, because startup visa requires a lot of preparation, and the processing time for startup visas are not great at the moment. It's about 36 months or something, which is annoying, to be honest. So it depends what are your priorities. Okay, here's a very interesting question. What happens to an applicant for business visa who gets work permit but fails to meet business goals after 1-2 years required by PNP? Then you don't get nominated by PNP. Will they get an extension to perform or issued a removal order? Well, I think when you don't perform on the PNP, you didn't satisfy the performance agreement that you signed with the province, and you are not nominated. Then you have to switch your status to another status, okay? Either within Canada or not. If you cannot change your status, you have certain days before you need to leave Canada. Yeah, not removal order, I wouldn't put it like that, but you have an obligation to leave Canada if you cannot change your status to another status. Okay. Can you help me search for a business do all the paperwork? Yeah, we can do that, and we specialize in business immigration. We do all the paperwork. Is it possible to buy an e-commerce business? Yes, it's possible, but what would make you what is the justification for you coming to Canada to run that e-commerce business if you can run that e-commerce remotely? So build your argument accordingly. Why e-business if that e-business doesn't require your intervention on a day-to-day basis and it can run on their own? So think about what type of businesses you want to buy. It should not be kind of passive business. You need to actively be involved in the business, okay? So think about that. SKV. Will age be a constraint for a person age 44 coming to on a C11 work permit for getting PR after 2 years? No. Well, the solution for age, unfortunately, is that you need to increase your points for PR by other means, by job offer or by PNP. If in case of PNP, it's by performance, right? It's not a constraint. Usually, those C11 and intra-company transfer programs are done by those who cannot get enough points because of their age. So they switch to business immigration, and we do business immigration for them, because through express entry they don't have any chance at the age of 44. It's really tough. It's possible, but it's hard to get enough points at the age of 44 under express entry, right? That's why you need to see the alternatives. What are they? Alternatives. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I hope I exhausted all the questions. Oh, there are many questions. Okay. Here's a question from Ali, very interesting one. Can my son study at the university on domestic fees if I have a business work permit? No. That's your student will your son will be an international student still, but maybe he will start his first year, second year as an international student. Maybe there's a possibility that his third year and fourth year is a local student fee when you become permanent resident, and he should be dependent. It depends on your age, on the age of your son. Maybe that could be a possibility, and we've seen that kind of scenarios in the past. Okay. Sheila's son Joseph, for SUV in the startup visa program, do you support to get letter of support letter with our business plan, or just guide us? Do they charge fee for letter of support? Well, letter of support can be obtained by from three entities, right? From three type of organizations: incubators, angel investors, and venture capital firm. they usually don't charge for letter of support. The preparatory work to get the letter of support is a paid service. Yes, we provide that kind of service in collaboration with our partners who do the market research for you, who do prototyping, those partners do other kind of necessary preparatory work to present the startup to the designated organizations, and those organizations may accept you. Okay, so preparatory work is paid. It's a service, right? But the designated organizations usually, other than some incubators, they don't charge for a letter of support. As long as they like your project and accept you and give their investment or accept you to the incubation program, that's it. They don't charge for a letter of support. The fee, the cost is the preparatory work to present your strong case for to get a letter of support from the organizations. Okay, and we do that. Yeah, we do that for our clients. We help them to apply, to prepare and apply to get the letter of support. 𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗥, please tell me work visa Canada for international employee. The best answer I can give, 𝗕𝗢𝗨, is for you to go to our website to understand how employers hire foreign workers. So go to employers and hiring foreign worker for Canadian business. This is how they hire. I quite didn't get your question. Maybe I misunderstood, but this is where you find hiring foreign workers for Canadian businesses information there. Okay. Now another question. Oh, I missed one question. 1 second. Ali Rashid says, when does my 1096 days start? Does it start when I land in Canada or after I get a PR? That's a good question. It depends. So excuse me, I have a okay. So through business immigration program, you come on a work permit, right? So up to 1 year of your work permit time can be calculated towards your 1096 days for the citizenship. So let's say if you came to Canada on a work permit to run your business and you run it, and you're running it for about 2 years, okay? And then you become PR. Once you become PR, 1 year from your work permit time will be calculated towards your citizenship. So it depends on the scenario, right? So up to 1 year time spent on a work permit can be calculated towards your citizenship calculation. I think that's the best answer I can give. But if you come to Canada on a PR basis, for example, startup visa, right? Or any other PR like express entry, the calculation starts on the day of your arrival. But if you come on a work permit prior to becoming PR, 1 year of work permit is calculated towards your citizenship of 1096 days. Okay. Okay. Good. Hardik, thank you very much for your question. Teacher Vid is asking, after arriving in Canada on C11 or startup investor business visa, I think you meant startup visa program, but anyways, what steps would I take to get student visa to continue schooling as well as running my business? Well, the expectation is that you will be full-time running your business. If you are coming to Canada to study, I think you better apply to student visa right away. You cannot have two statuses at the same time, okay? So if you buy a business and you run business on a work permit, I suggest that you run and become permanent resident before you become teacher, before you become a student, right? Why? Because if you come to Canada as an international student, the fees are higher, twice or sometimes 3 times higher than local students. So either you purchase a business and start running the business, or if you want to study, just get the student visa, come to study, and then become PR. It's more economic. So I don't suggest you combine two, work permit and study permit at the same time. Okay, the work permit clearly states that you cannot study in an academic program when you have when you come to Canada to run your business. Or maybe I misunderstood your question. Maybe you just you're saying you're coming to Canada on C11, as it's a work permit program, and you want to study at the same time. I've never had that case, to be honest. And I think it's better for you to decide what's your ultimate goal, to discuss it with a lawyer. Maybe there are easier way to get to your ultimate goal. I'm sorry I couldn't cover the whole thing about this question, but it seems such an unusual scenario when a person buys a business and comes to run that business on a work permit, but at the same time he wants to study full-time as a student. So it's a bit contradictory. Either you do this or the other. Adam says, when buying the business, is it after making the payment before one can start the visa processing? Yeah, usually that's the case. You purchase the business first, you present that documents proving the purchase, and then you apply for visa, right? There's a document package that goes to visa application. Okay, I think I covered all the questions. Now I want to highlight something related to yesterday's announcement. As you know, yesterday, Canadian Immigration Minister announced new plans for immigration for 2023 to 2025. Let me bring that on the screen because it's a very interesting development, and I'm happy that ministry has increased. So the new immigration plans for 2023-25 are the following. And I'm more interested in this aspect, and please understand that this is permanent residence, ultimate permanent residence, right? These are not work permits. These numbers are not about work permits. So I'm very happy to see that from 1,000 previously in previous plan, this has increased to 3,500 all the way to maximum 8,000, right? So it is a good development. Canada will be accepting almost 500,000 new immigrants every year, and federal business programs, they include such programs as startup visa, self-employed programs, and so on. So these are very good developments for us, and it will be a very interesting year in 2023 and 25. Every year there will be new more and more immigrants coming to Canada. So this is our plan as a country to accept more immigrants. And if you want to move your business, move your family, and move your future to Canada, Sobirovs Law Firm is here to help. Thank you very much for your active participation. We'll see you next Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. live from Toronto. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It will help us a lot. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the week, and send us your questions. If we couldn't answer them today, send us your questions by putting a comment under this video. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.